Stop, dude. Oh, I'm live. It's recording the pod, too. I'm so live in the mouth. All right. I think this is working. We're going to have to pull up this stream to make sure it's double check. Part 2, part 3. We're going to see if we're going to use any of the initial audio. It was 20 minutes long, so sorry if this might look like a short episode, but it wasn't. And now I have the fucking hiccups because I was so pissed off about it. Which is like the most annoying thing is like I don't clear my throat as much and now I got the motherfucking hiccups.
Yeah. If there's anything that really drives home how upset someone is, it's a raging episode of hiccups.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because like I want to deliver a good episode and it's like this is just a fucking nightmare. Yep, got it. Yeah. It's a nightmare to have hiccups. I think I fixed it. It should update on this. I got the pod live here. Well, it'll look like chapter then. Let's make sure
So yeah, check out part 1 and go to part 2. There are a whole bunch of E3 news. Justin Martin's through a lot. A lot happened this week. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for Bethesda and Aspects to still be married.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna get some. Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, this is a weird fucking one. We have to do part 2. The audio we're gonna try to keep in as much as possible because I think it'll just be ridiculous. Sorry, you guys can enjoy it. It was the Chaos Theory episode, I suppose. Like Splintered Cell, which is another thing that Ubisoft did not fucking announce that they should have announced. So let's do it, which kind of sucks. But yeah, Xbox is the best press conference. They were excellent. God damn it!
We do have to call this episode Chaos Theory.
Yeah. But no, they were just a fucking. They had a great conference. Even though I was trolling the people, I mean, it's still great. They added like 10 new Bethesda games to Game Pass today. Just older ones to get you pumped. They showed Starfield, like teaser. It looks fucking incredible. You only see a little bit, but it's so exciting. Their first new game in 25 years. It's like we know it's kind of like space related. Maybe it's like their version of No Man's Sky-esque, kind of like Fallout meets No Man's Sky is probably what it's going to be. Or like Outer Worlds, which they also announced Outer Worlds 2 at that conference, which is also awesome. But yeah, so I mean, so it's November 11th, 2022. So we got the announcement trailer and the date, which is pretty awesome. And then Halo Infinite multiplayer is free to play.
That's exciting. That's really cool. I'm glad
they didn't announce a battle royale, which I thought was weird. I'm sure they will though. I think I don't see that.
Yeah.
Not doing
is Battlefield going to be a battle royale?
So they confirmed no.
I kind of like that. Like,
so,
I like
well, you don't really need it.
Their own thing, yeah, and
their own thing was battle royale. Like it's if you play,
it's not last man standing, right?
No, it is. If you play in hardcore mode, it's the same thing.
Oh, well then.
There's just no smoke that comes in. That's like the difference. All right, this is going to be a nightmare for all of us. But thank you for that. I don't even know what the fuck that was. Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Okay.
It might have been Twitch.
Oh, no, that was definitely Twitch. I just don't know what. Someone did something on Twitch, so thank you.
Did someone give us money?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Someone someone just sent something. Thank you.
A heart. DVA Mechanics.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a rough day. We needed that for the hiccups. This is a chaos as much as an episode. Anyways, what was I talking about? Fuck.
We were talking about Battle
thank
Royales,
you, by the way.
Battlefield.
Right. So Battlefield's kind of always been like that, except just hardcore mode without that. But yeah, the Battlefield trailer came out last week. They showed the gameplay. I'm gonna try to like hold it in. They showed the gameplay at the Xbox Bethesda presser. Looks fucking incredible. I mean, we knew it would, but you can change attachments on the fly. So he goes in the elevator. You can take the silencer on, off, like changing an extended mag or different scopes. That looks awesome. Shows all the different vehicle destruction. 128 people, massive map.
That's awesome.
Fully destructible environment. And now you also have the superstorms to deal with, which look crazy. So it's like these massive sandstorms, tornadoes, all this kind of shit. It's just like Battlefield is back, and it looks like they fixed their close quarters combat. It looks way more tight.
Yeah.
which is always what Call of Duty had over it. And then Battlefield was like, yeah, but we're all at war. We're doing like everything, so we can't do the one thing perfectly. And we haven't had a Battlefield for a couple of years, like an actual numbered one.
Mhm.
We had 5, but that was a few years ago. And now it's 2042, so it's back in modern era. It's like 20 years in the future, but pretty much all modern tech.
Yeah.
It's like the superstorms are like the craziest thing in it.
Yeah.
Not like the planes and gun.
That's also like a real weird allusion to like global warming or climate.
Yeah,
change.
well, no, it's they basically made Geostorm as a video game.
Yeah.
Which like the 7 people that saw that movie are like, yeah, they did. You're right. Gerald Butler's like, fuck yeah, man. Actually, what am I saying? He doesn't even remember he was in that movie.
Probably not.
Like, yeah. So, but anyways, it's back. I mean, it's like the king is back. I think Battlefield is going to wreck shit because they took the time to do this right. I think obviously Call of Duty is still going to sell a ton of copies, but Battlefield I think is going to fill a massive void. The weird part is it's multiplayer only, so there's no campaign. It doesn't multiplayer.
Which
That's
they've
actually
done that before.
Battlefield hasn't, but
Was it 1942?
1943 on PlayStation, like 3, was one level, and you could just play the one level. Was Iwo Jima.
They had 3 of them, didn't they?
That was just the one. Maybe it was 3. You're talking about the small game that we played in college, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Iwo Jima.
God damn it! It's Battlefield 1943, but that was like that wasn't like a full release product. That was like a $20 game or whatever. Yeah. This is the first numbered release Battlefield that is like clearly AAA, like massive, and they're like it's still $60.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, it's $60 on PlayStation, 70 on Xbox. But that was weird. It's $60 on PC too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal.
Weird.
I don't know what the deal with that is, but anyway, so it was just it looks fucking awesome. But to be honest, I was thinking about it. I was like, I never really played the campaign of Battlefield. I don't play the campaign of Call of Duty. And the stories suck in both of them. I don't really care. I'm really playing for like the crazy all-out multiplayer action to play with my friends.
Yeah.
Or like,
I mean, it's
going up online.
Sweet, but aside from that,
right. It's really the multiplayer moments with your friends or just random people because you're just jumping in multiplayer.
Absolutely.
And that kind of stuff. And then like zombies, which I'm sure they'll make some version of that because like they're going to make something to be competitive. If it's not Battle Royale, it's going to be something else. But they did say no Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So that makes me think it's going to be zombies, like how like I was saying earlier before you got here. Rainbow Six announced it. Rainbow Six Extraction. Yeah.
Because they didn't want to call it pandemic or whatever anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a separate Rainbow Six game, but basically it's Rainbow Six Zombies with some of the operators, which is kind of like pretty cool. We saw some more Back 4 Blood stuff, and then during the PC Gamer show, they just showed Dying Light 2, like a full trailer of that, which looks crazy awesome. And then Gabe Newell said they're going to have a Steam event in 4 days to just show off Steam games.
Or?
He said Steam games, like early access game. He wasn't saying anything like truly from Valve. It's more of like Valve putting these games on a platform.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. And some of these were announced before. So it was kind of like all that meshed into one. So yeah, I don't know, but for that, but yeah, I mean, Battlefield looks fucking incredible. I'm like so off kilter because I did 20 minutes by myself, and I don't know if we can use any of it. And it was funny as shit. I was talking about like the id, the super ego, and the ego because I was like, good. It's all my. I was like, all my voices.
You finally got to talk to yourself.
I was like, all the voices in my head, I'm just gonna have on the pod, and I was like, this is easy as fuck. And honestly, it went by really fast. Like when you opened the door, I was like, has it been like 3 minutes, and then it was like 18. I was like, oh, wow. And I'm pretty sure I didn't take a beat, so it was like pretty good. But also, I've been playing a fuckload of Ratchet and Clank PS5 because that came out. That came out on Friday, so I'm like 6 hours in. It's incredible. It's like you immediately notice like this game could not be done without that SSD and without the hardware the PlayStation has.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, probably could be done on Xbox, but I'm saying this SSD because like the traversal through the rifts and all this kind of shit, it's just like it's crazy because you're loading into like different sections of the map without loading. And it helps because you're fighting all these different types of enemies and stuff. You can like jump around. Game's crazy. I think it's a 15-hour game. I've played about 6 or 7, but I'm also doing like all the optional stuff.
Exactly that.
So I've met Rivet and all that stuff, and it's fucking. But it's awesome. I've enjoyed every second of it. It's been a ton of fun. Can't wait to jump back in it for more. It's just it's so fucking good. The stories are real. Fuck.
Mhm.
Story is really interesting, and I never really played. Like I haven't even played their whole
I was about to
series.
say, yeah. Have you played Ratchet and Clank before, like to its entirety? I think
I've played them.
Ratchet.
I was more like I jumped in and then like never finished a couple, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Is Nuts and Bolts one? Yeah, that's
Is that a game you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
that. I think that's the one I played. And I think I played it to its entirety, and that was like,
Well, that's not a Ratchet and Clank game.
no, what's then I forget.
There,
But, yeah.
it's Ratchet and Clank, Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, Deadlock, Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, Crack in Time, Into the Nexus,
I think Up Your Arsenal.
Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Size Matters, Secret Agent Clank, All for Wine, Full Frontal Assault, Going Mobile, Before the Nexus, Ratchet and Clank Collection.
Well, but
Not doing that on trivia anymore. it's like,
I think Up Your Arsenal is the one I played back in the day. And
yeah, that's probably right. That
Yeah.
was like basically Ratchet and Clank 3.
I think it was PS2.
It was like 2004 PS2.
Yep.
Yep. I think that's when I played it. I think I played Going Commando. And then I did play a Crack in Time, but yeah, I mean, it was just like I never really got fully into it. But the cool thing about this is they kind of like shoved the lore down your throat with a ton of exposition.
Mhm. Right up front.
And they were like, yeah, it's been like 10 years since we fought anybody. I wonder if we can still be heroes. And it's kind of like opens at that. I'm like, that's pretty cool that it's like kind of like self-aware.
Yeah.
But and there's like multiverses and stuff like that that you go through. So it's not just like dimensional rifts; it's actually multiverses. So there's multiple versions.
Damn.
And like Doctor what is it, Doctor Nefarious?
Yeah.
There's multiple like of Doctor Nefarious, so which leads me to believe that there could be multiple Ratchets, but we haven't seen that. Basically, the Rift we saw the other Lombax, which is Rivet,
Yeah.
who's awesome. And it's cool that so when you upgrade one's guns and levels and stuff like that, it's actually shared between the two.
Do
And
they
you're
address it
paying-
in game?
Yeah, they address it once.
Okay.
When you like you get like the bolts are like your money, your currency, so you upgrade and stuff.
Yep.
And when he's like, when you're Rivet and going there, she's like, oh, I didn't have all these before. And she's like, I know, it's from that other secret agent. But she's like, I know because I'm part of this. It's the store is like thinks she's like out of some secret agent with you because you're
She's
basically
like part of the resistance and doesn't know who's an ancient.
right, exactly. So she thinks because you're both like you both look the same, you're both like Lombax is or whatever the fuck it is. That you're like against Dr. Nefarious, that she's like, yeah, she's like, don't worry, I get it. Yeah, it's a Lombax. Okay. That's God damn it. Sorry about that.
I have called her the Lorax before, but to be
Yeah.
fair, they do look a little similar.
Yeah, they kind of do. It's kind of they actually really look like a fucking no, I was gonna say a wombat, but
Not a wombat. They're quite dissimilar.
they're like a fox. They're
Yeah.
like basically like a fox. But anyways, she's like, oh yeah, the other Lombax, don't worry. And she's like, I know you guys are on the same team. It was a cool, funny joke. But I was like, thank God I don't have to upgrade this gun every time.
Yes.
So it's like you can max them out, and all your money is shared to get the bigger guns.
That's legit.
Yeah, so like I've been just nailing shit to get all those, and it's cool because you find the golden screws or whatever,
Mhm.
golden bolts, and they unlock like cheats, so you can which are like
cool.
change skins in the game. And do you want to see one is the RPG cheat? It's not really a cheat. You just put on it puts damage numbers come off enemies, so you know they lost 80, 20.
Ooh.
And but as soon as I got that, I turned that on because I was like,
Absolutely.
yeah. I was like, I have no idea how much I'm fucking taking. But
Yeah.
I was like, that's not really a cheat. That's information.
Yeah.
Like, because the other ones are like, change the color of your wrench or your hammer. And I'm like, that's not a cheat either. Like, I haven't had anything that's been like a cheat. Like, and then it's like, get stuff in photo mode and stuff like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. So it's really good, but they do a good exposition. So if you never played Ratchet and Clank, which pretty much I haven't effectively, it kind of like taught me everything I need to know. And just going more into it, it's like, all right, I'm invested. And you're kind of almost like Rivet, where you're like, I don't know any of this shit. So they're like, well, we're teaching Rivet.
They give you a character to identify with.
Right, because they're like, we're teaching Rivet about Clank, and Clank's like explaining all this shit. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And it's like, that's basically also like, oh, we know you're new at this game, so here's all this information, and here's a smart way of dealing exposition.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of like that. Game itself, it looks beautiful. It feels great. The way they do, using the adaptive controllers and stuff is great. The adaptive and haptic feedback. You go into this Dr. Nefaris's nightclub at one point, and the sound, it's like the subwoofers are on, and it's bumping, like it's like to the direction of where the subwoofers are. So when you move, it bumps. And that's
cool.
It's kind of like the rain in Returnal,
Yep.
whereas like you notice it. It doesn't go away because you're only in that room, so every time you're in there, it's going there. But it just shows you, like, this is not, like, for anyone that's still, it's not Rumble. Like, it's just completely different because it's, like, every piece of the controller, like, directionally will vibrate, not just, like, the controller is vibrating. That makes you feel, like, I'm like, that feels like,
from the Rumble pack.
Right, it's like, that felt like rain. This feels like it, like, literally feels like when you were in high school and your, like, friend, like, thought it was cool, so he put, like, an 18-inch subwoofer in his trunk of his fucking Honda Civic and would just blow out the windows. That's exactly what it feels like. Or your brother does it.
I like when you said high school, I thought of like that weird thing that like the girls would do where they like run their fingers up your back and like pretend to smack an egg on your head.
Oh my God, I thought about that the other day when it's like, there's an egg on your head and all the yolk is falling down. Yeah. And then there's a knife in your back.
Like it, but it's just fingers. And it's like, it
fucks with you.
It's a dumb way to kind of illustrate like how much you feeling and immersion you can get from like a couple little taps and buzzes and stuff like that.
Oh God. That just like fucks with you. Yeah. There's a knife in your back. And what a fucked up game. Like, why did we play these weird ass fucking games?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's not a weird ass game? Ratchet and Clank. It's a great fucking game. Brought it back, even with the hiccups. I'm like Michael Jordan during the flu game. It's the hiccup game.
There you go. The hiccup game.
All the audio was broken. I'm like, supposed to be done to be a good boyfriend, doing all this shit. I'm still dedicated to the cause. And that's Ratchet and Clank. And that's Glad You Game, baby. That's what we do here. You're the listeners, and our time to deliver is important to all of us. Yes. Yes. I really hope we have some of my solo stuff because it was really good. For the record, I didn't shit on you or anything. Like, that's not me, like, being...
I'm going to edit.
Oh no! I think you'll be like really. I think you might even get a tear. No, I was just like, I got to take care of Shay. He's driving all the way to fucking Connecticut. I'm walking from the bathroom, so I'm covered. So that's not a problem. The dude's doing an incredible journey just to make it, so we can do this on time. I just basically thanked you. Or now I was like, that piece of shit can't figure out clocks.
I do have a problem with clocks.
Not a big analog clock. We'd love to see with the analog clock. Yeah.
Put on the gloves.
That's how you know you're a man. Put that analog clock there. You know what you can really fuck with people? This is we got to get back to games. Is like just switching someone's clock to military time. And they're like 20. What is 20? Be like it's 20, dude. I gotta go. I'm going at 20. What? Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. But anyways, back to game. Ratchet Clank is awesome. Battlefield looks great. Xbox had the best presentation. Ubisoft kind of let down. Gearbox, what the fuck was that? That's what I was mainly talking about. It was just the behind the scene. Sage, when you do the audio, if I'm redoing shit, just I guess leave that or maybe leave it in. So some of you might be hearing this twice or thrice. I don't even know how this thing is. But Gearbox, this was behind the scenes of the Borderlands movie with the CEO and producer from Gearbox, which is great. But they were clearly all just like accepting that he's there, but not really wanting him there. He's like interviewing Eli Roth. They're right next to each other, and they're both answering different questions that are just like on two different like planes of like conversation. It's like, are you even listening to each other? They're both like, we're just saying things, and they're like this. And then you see Kevin Hart like was actually funny, but it kept intercutting between that and like that's when you came in. I was talking about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and. Just to bring it all back together. And the Warner Brothers, the number one thing in Warner Brothers actually looked really fucking cool. Or was it Square Enix? Oh god damn it! I'm gonna get hold on before I say it.
Twisted.
Yeah, well, it's
I'm just excited to play Halo. Like it's been so long for me, and the fact that it's free to play.
Oh yeah, so it's yes, that is pretty cool. That's free to play multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is free to play. So yeah. Which is what a lot of people just play now.
Do a lot of catching up if I want to do.
Yeah, dude, me too. Or like hopefully they do some Ratchet exposition. They should do what Resident Evil 8.
Ratchet.
What Resident Evil 8 did. I realized that
We're
sounds like
reclaiming the word ratchet.
Yeah, I just realized that. I'm like calling it some like I don't even know what ratchet means, but like ratchet. But they should do what like Resident Evil 8 did, where it was like, do you want to recap a 7? And it's like Ethan retelling it and like to a shrink essentially, and be like, I don't want to keep talking. They should have like the Spartan like John. They should like retelling and be like, I don't want to talk about, or like Cortana's like, then I fell apart and died, or got deleted.
Or harken back to the old ad campaign and get like other vets.
Oh yeah, like to tell a story. Yeah. But they definitely need something because it's like I haven't played. I played some of 4 and then just kind of stopped because it kind of just sucked. Basically, 343 just kind of shit the bed. So hopefully, Infinite's awesome. I am willing to go back in.
Yeah. But
I'm not willing to go play all the other ones. So just like you said, give me that exposition boost. But the one good game that came out of Square Enix was kind of like, Final Fantasy Origins looked terrible. A couple other things was like, why did you do that? But the one thing that looked awesome that actually kind of gets pumped is the Guardians of the Galaxy game they're making. Looks amazing. Like, very well done. It's like, fucking finally. Like, great. And they had it at their press, and it's like, this literally saved your press conference. Didn't make it great, but it saved your press conference.
I'm a little hesitant after the Marvel games.
Well, Marvel Avengers is actually not bad now. Like I said, it's like Destiny. It's gonna take like 2 years before they're like, oh, that's what our game is.
Yeah,
But I mean, Spider-Man's.
To me, you need to kind of. Spider-Man is incredible. I think you're dealing with so many different player types that it's gonna be that thing where they start pulling themselves a little too thin. I hope not.
I hope
really
not too.
Excited to see that, and like the whole movie is so kind of like character driven and story based that I'm very interested to see how they will contextualize all of those players' strengths, because a lot of them are like also weaknesses. I don't know. It's a lot different than just putting Spider-Man in different situations. So we'll see if they can make it that level of immersion where you feel like you're playing as the different characters. I'm going to be in that so hard.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm hoping they do as well. Like, it did look cool though.
Yeah.
The voices, I think they're kind of trying to impersonate the movie voices.
They're not getting.
It's not terrible because it's not part of the MCU. So it's like I guess that's why Drax is green, which is what he is in the comics.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I mean, the fighting and all that stuff, the game, they showed real gameplay, and it actually looked like very fluid. It looked very well done, and it looked like it should feel different if you're playing as a different person.
Cool.
The other game I do want to announce, which actually was at the end of the Xbox, they had they basically stole it from Apple, like, and one more thing.
One more.
They literally did that. They were like, and one more thing. It's like, what? Redfall. It's basically like an open world that can be solo or up to co-op up to 4 people. Zombie, like RPG-esque kind of game. Or not zombie, vampire.
Ooh.
Vampire hunting stuff.
That sounds cool.
It looked fucking cool. And I was like, all right. I guess everybody's doing the zombie thing, and it's like you kind of got Dying Light. It's kind of doing that, except it's not. I don't know if 2 is co-op because it's been going on during my whole issue of all of this audio. But it's like that kind of owns that space for zombies, and plus zombies like there's 1,000 fucking zombie games.
Yeah,
it's cool going into the vampire stuff, but it's basically an open world co-op vampire game. You can play solo, but it's up to 4-player co-op. And it looked fucking sick. So I was like, all right, I'm in. So that's Redfall. I didn't even know anything about that prior to this conference. So that looks really cool. I think that was like the biggest surprise. Halo multiplayer looks great. Battlefield, I still think is like the best looking thing I saw out of everything. In Starfield, we didn't really see gameplay. It was just kind of like a teaser. Yeah. And I'm like excited for it. Outer Worlds 2 was hilarious. The trailer was really fucking funny. And that was a great first game. So that's great to have that. We're gonna have another like E3 update next week because there's still conferences tomorrow. Like I was saying, my solo part, Capcom's tomorrow, and I wonder if they're gonna be like, "Hey, let's do RE9 content," because like 8's out. It leaves on a big fucking cliffhanger. It's like, so we know there's going to be a 9. We know that. So it'd be interesting if they announce it at all. If they're just gonna like go not talk about it, like not like announce like show us anything, but more like It's going to be called blah, and it comes out in 3 years. Like,
or are they going to pull a Avatar where they're like,
that's another thing.
You saw one like this far back, and now we're going to release like the other 3.
Well, that was the one thing at Ubisoft is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, the new open world Avatar game that actually looks good. And it's like, wow, why didn't you make this game any of the years you could have made this game? I guess because the movies are finally coming out this summer. They're probably let's just tie it in.
Even if
this
we make
Christmas.
a loss on this, it's helping to get
it looks sick
in the mood.
Yeah.
I mean, and like the whole Avatar world they built at Disney, I feel like a lot of it's leading up
to the movies.
Yeah, because you need to do it before the movies. Because I mean, it's out of the freaking zeitgeist now.
Right. Right. They have to get you back in. Like, hey, remember this thing? It was like the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
And then like people are like, it's Dances with Wolves and all that. It's like, yeah, but you still have to do that one thing I have. And by the way, I said that too.
Yeah.
It's Fern Gully. It's Dances with Wolves. You have to still implement it correctly. You could say any movie's like every revenge movie is the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
But John Wick did a new take on it. John Wick did something interesting. Yeah. It's worthwhile. There's also shitty versions of the same thing.
Every like romance movie is some rehash of
the same. Like, Romeo and Juliet, or you've seen the same romantic comedy. Yeah. You've seen every romantic comedy 15 times. Yeah. Right. But it's the way they interpret it and do it differently that makes fun. So
I have to admit that Avatar interpreted that.
Yeah, Avatar didn't invent Stockholm Syndrome because that's pretty much what the fucking games are, like, or the movies are. It's like Dance with Wolves, all that. It's you get taken in by, you get captive by the people you're fighting. Then you're like, they're really good people and all that. Not that they're bad people being Stockholm Syndrome like the captor, but they are the captor. Yeah. They captured you. Then you would fall in love with them and start protecting them. That's literally Stockholm Syndrome. Now, turns out they were actually the good guys and he was a bad guy in every one of these situations. But it's like, that is not exclusive to those 3 movies. So like, and you're also picking out the ones they did it successfully. That's the whole point. It's like, you do it successfully. Yeah. Be like, sure, it's like that.
The only reason you know Dances with Wolves is because they did Ferngully so well.
Right.
They know that the order's off.
Yes. But either way, it's just like, if they implemented terribly, you wouldn't even mention it. You wouldn't have mentioned it. And it's like, yeah, that's so it's like John Wick's a great revenge movie. So is Nobody, right? And that's literally just John Wick, except he's an accountant or the accountant. Like
because he's an accountant. Or the accountant.
So like, you could say all of this shit, and I've definitely been one of them, but it's also like, fucking let them breathe. Like, there's only so many stories to tell. If you take it to base concepts.
Lots to build on.
Yeah, if you take it to base concepts, there's only so many story structures you have to frame something off of.
Yeah.
And then you create an original path from that. So it's like, yeah, my time's just out the window. I mean, because I still want to just deliver a good one. But yeah, anyway, so I don't even remember how that one came up. But basically, what was it about a game? It had to have been about a game. Yeah. Well, Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora.
Resident Evil, if they're going to do the same thing that James Cameron did, where it's like, here's the first one, and then the sequels are just like back to back. How cool would it be if like the next one was this season? It's not gonna be, but
yeah. For the record, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora comes out in 2022. So I'm pretty sure the new movie comes out this December.
Oh.
But it is PS5, PC, Xbox Series X. It is not previous consoles. So it is just current gen plus. And it looks fucking incredible.
I have a feeling
it is the one good thing at Ubisoft's thing.
Yeah.
Maybe Rainbow Six Extraction.
Yeah.
So like those 2 things. But it is easily like the best thing. And this was also originally announced in 2017. This is just like Avatar.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh yeah, we're doing this. And it was like, well, wait 7 years or
I'm
whatever.
making my dream project in 5 years.
Yeah. But I'm pumped to go back with the Na'vi and all this. And it looks like an open world kind of game. Yeah. I'm not really sure. There's not a ton of info about it.
All we know is that the whole time we were in that movie, we wanted to live in that world, and the fact that we're getting the opportunity to is going to be sweet.
I mean, there was a really shitty Avatar game.
Yes, I have seen gameplay for that.
I played that. I didn't just see gameplay of that. I played that, and it was. I wanted to like it so much, and like because I love the movie, because the movie. That's Cameron is so good at like building worlds. Like when he took Alien to be Aliens, which is the better one, by the way, and they're both great, but Aliens is the better. and he just created an entire universe off of like Ridley Scott's, and then Ridley Scott just fucked it all up again. But anyway, which Aliens have a couple great games as well. But yeah, it's the first-person action-adventure game developed by Massive. It's using the Snowdrop engine, which is why it looks so fucking awesome because that's what they're using in like all their new shit. It looks great. It is. They did confirm it's open world, so we do see that too. So yeah. So I mean, I'm in. I mean that is like this is that game we should have had.
Yeah.
This should be like the second
Breath of the Wild open world.
Right.
God of War open world.
Right. But this should have been the original Avatar game. Like this should have been.
Yeah, but part of me is almost glad they waited. Like Avatar was a next gen movie.
Let's wait for the next gen game. Essentially,
we'll make it a next gen.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I'm hoping they do say something about Resident Evil 9 just because of the way 8 ended. It's a massive cliffhanger. Am I allowed to say spoilers now? I feel like probably, right? So it's Village spoilers. So Village is incredible. Ethan dies at the end. The main guy you play as through 7 and 8, so spoiler alert. Then he kind of comes back to life because he actually was the mold the whole time. He was infected the whole time. That's really special. But then he has to like kill himself to save his daughter and kill Mother Miranda. So he gives his daughter to Chris Redfield, and who's actually not a bad guy because the woman he shot was not his wife. It was Mother Miranda posing as his wife. So
layers on layers.
So basically, it ends with that, and they fly away, and then everything blows up, and Ethan like kills himself to save everybody. And then he wants to go to the other Umbrella conference, the other Umbrella like corporation to fight them because they sent soldiers in. So he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because there's basically Blue Umbrella, which is the good guys, and then Umbrella, and your daughter Rose is like, a baby. She's a baby. She's a baby. So then it goes out and goes like, doesn't say what time, but she's clearly like in high school or college, and it's Rose, and she's like putting flowers at Ethan's grave, and then like you see her get in a car, and she's like, "Don't fucking touch me. You know what I can do." And it's like, damn, because she has superpowers or whatever. It's like mold powers because she was like born of the mold. So then you see it drive away, and then you see a little image. The car stops, and you see someone walk next to the car, but the car is like a mile away. So it's like a shadowy figure.
Yep.
And that's it. And just but if you pause it in like photo mode or whatever, you can zoom over. And it is the character model they use for Ethan. So it's like, what the fuck? Also, it's like, we know the mold grows people faster. Has this really been 15, 20 years? Has it been more like 5 years? The very end of the game, he's like, we're going straight to Umbrella headquarters to fight them or whatever. What happened with that? Like, we don't, because it's like whatever years passed. So it's like all these questions. You can have spin-offs. So if they're not going to talk about 9, I'm hoping they announce some 8 DLC. Like we have like the Redfield Chronicles or something like that coming up. But because Village is incredible. But yeah, so like I hope they fucking say something because it's like that. And spoiler, whatever. It's fucking incredible. I need more about it. Yeah. And I am, my time is all fucked up. But I was trying to do this fast, and I think I've actually just done an hour and a half now. Like, I started at 6:30. It's 8. It's like, but you know what? Got to deliver the content. Granted, we had a shitload of audio problems, so I didn't want anything to suffer. Sorry for the hiccups. I seem to have got over that.
You did.
Which now that I've realized it, that's what happened. That fucking hiccups are ridiculous. But anyways, long story short, E3 so far, Xbox best press conference. Love fucking with the trolls, bet PC also gets it day one. Just a fact, get over it. Xbox, but we, like you said, we do got to get used to. Xbox is just the ecosystem. When you hear Xbox, don't think console, think ecosystem. They've moved past it, right? They're not to like, make me to a higher ground. So they've done that. We're happy for them. I'm excited for more shit. I'm slightly delirious, not even sure what has been recorded or whatnot. We're going to just throw a bunch of audio, and it's going to sound great. And you guys are like, I've heard the same thing 3 times because he had the same exact rant on Gearbox 2 or 3 times. And guess what? I did, and I still fucking mean it. But you know what? I'm pumped. It's E3. We got a lot of cool stuff. Battlefield looks fucking great. All hail the king. The king is dead. long live the king. All right, let's fucking go. I'm excited for another week of E3 and Summer Games. So that's more to come. Maybe Sony will announce some shit. We'll see if the Steam thing actually has something cool, like fucking anything Half-Life related. Gabe, you asshole, do something about it. Other than that, let's go. Keep gaming, baby. Sage is here.
We're talking game.
I think I still did like a solo. Yeah. All right, man. Have a good one. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for hanging people on the internet. Check out more videos. They are not in separate parts.